Hey y'all, so in my last video I did mention that I wanted to do a full in-depth breastfeeding video. I am now 2 months postpartum and I have gone through nearly every occurrence that you can have with breastfeeding. I've compiled a list of tips, tricks, all of my know-how from the past 2 months. Starting off strong, we have how to establish breastfeeding. The number one thing I need you to know, whatever you're experiencing, it will get easier, I promise. Getting that good deep latch is so important. For a good latch, I'm gonna go over the basics, but to get an even more in-depth and better than I can do at explaining, look up a licensed lactation consultant and videos from them explaining how to get a deep latch. You're gonna grab and make sure that it is in the correct shape, that it's going to contour towards your baby's mouth. Do not put it directly into their mouth. You're going to wait for their mouth reflex, so you're just gonna kind of play with it at the top of their lip until they open wide. When you're first starting off, baby might not have the best reflex because they were just born, they don't even know what the world is, they don't know what eating is, they don't know what milk is. They're figuring it out too, just like you. You're a team, you're doing this together. So give your baby a little bit of patience, wait for that wide open latch, and then bring the baby to you. You should not be holding the baby's whole head and forcing the baby onto you. You kind of grab behind their ear and support their back to bring them towards you, but you're not forcing anything. And last but not least, their ear, their shoulder, and their hip should all be aligned. If they are not latched correctly, and this is hard to do as a mom, I did not want to unlatch my baby. I didn't care if it hurt. I just wanted her to be able to eat. And I think that's part of, your postpartum hormones. But it really is important. If they don't have that good latch, they're going to establish bad habits. So you need to help her out, unlatch and relatch correctly. From the get-go, you can use whatever position you need. In the middle of the night, use side lying. You get to kind of just chill and relax there. As long as you are watching that your baby is still in a safe environment, she can still breathe and things like that, you're good to go and you can kind of just relax. The football hold is good, especially when you have a abrasion or some irritation on a specific part of your nipple. Being able to move your baby around in different positions and getting the harder versus softer parts of their mouth on or off different parts of your nipple can kind of limit some of that irritation if you have some sensitive areas. When you leave the hospital, they will be telling you every 2 hours you have to be feeding your baby. Listen to your doctor that's telling you you need to feed your baby. Yes, your baby needs to be fed. But what's more important than focusing on that schedule so much is their feeding cues. Watch for when baby is rooting around. Sometimes baby will just turn their head into you. There's lots of different feeding cues. You can look up different ones. Every baby is different. If baby is crying, that is a late feeding cue. So that means they are now over hungry and they're not just, hey, I'm hungry, I need to eat. That means they're over hungry. So try to watch out for their feeding cues and focus on those more than a schedule. As soon as baby is back to their birth weight, then you can start letting them sleep as long as they want. You do not have to wake them up for feedings anymore. Rest is one of the most important things. When you're resting, that is when your milk production is at its highest. So if you're not getting enough sleep, then you're not going to be producing enough milk anyway. So as soon as they're up to birth weight, let them sleep. When you're starting to establish breastfeeding, make sure you are emptying all the way out. If you're not emptying all the way out, you do have a risk of engorgement, and engorgement can lead to more dangerous things like mastitis. I personally never had a problem with mastitis, and I do believe it is because I listened to my lactation consultant and emptied out every single time. Never, ever, ever leave your boobs just feeling engorged. To help establish breastfeeding and amp up your milk production right from the get-go, try to collect as much of that letdown as you possibly can. I bet you've heard lots about the Haka already. Use it, it's a great tool. When you're feeding on one side, you put it on the other and it collects all that letdown just by a light suction. It's great. Sometimes I would get multiple ounces just in a single feeding session, and this actually helped me build a freezer stash. The other thing that I cannot stress enough, and that I really, really wish I was told from the beginning, and this is something that I've never ever heard anybody else say on any other videos, is you have to solve the problem and prevent the problem from the inside out. Your nipples are kind of like your lips. They will get chapped and they will get cracked. Nipple butters and balms and things like that are going to help, but they will not solve the problem. They're only going to reduce a little bit of the pain. You have to do it from the inside out. And for that, I recommend hydrating like absolute crazy. I challenge you to drink a gallon of water a day. Just get yourself one of those cute little what are they called? Stanley cups, you know. The other thing I recommend that super duper helped me out was whole mega fish oil. If anyone experiences kind of that winter dryness where your hands get cracked, your lips get chapped, things like that, and no matter how much lotion you put on, it doesn't really help that much, it's because you got to fix the problem from the inside out, right? And taking fish oil helps those things. Now, here's some of those tips and tricks for the things about breastfeeding that kind of catch us off guard and we don't really know what to do about them. One side will produce much less. My right side kind of just, she slacks off. I don't know what her deal is. I would recommend pumping on that side. It's going to help with your milk production on that side specifically. By pumping on one side, you're going to ensure that you're evening out your sides a little bit, because when she's eating on this side, you're also asking your brain for a little bit more on this side as well. So it's telling your brain you need to produce more. If you demand more, you're going to get a better supply. Back pain. Back pain is a real thing. You have to make sure that you're supporting baby with your arms or with pillows or something else so that baby is to you and you can have good posture. Before you sit down with your baby, set up your sitting space or keep a certain chair in your house that is always set up with good posture for you so that you can be supported and limit any of that back pain. Also, do not throw out your pregnancy pillow for the first couple weeks. It is going to help so much with those sideline positions. You can just rest on that pregnancy pillow. So you got scabs on your boobs. Do not pick them, let them come off naturally. If you pick at those, they are going to bleed. They are going to cause more problems. Please take it from me, leave them alone. When you pump, make sure you get a flange insert. Most breast pumps only come with very large flange sizes. Look up the sizing charts or download one from the internet. There's free ones all over the place. I think the 21 millimeter is the same diameter as a dime. Like, look up equivalent things like that so you can measure and find your right size, and then it's as easy as popping it right in there and you're good to go. I get mine off of Amazon. Originally, when I started pumping, I was feeling a lot of pain. I put the flange inserts with my correct size in, pain went away. If suction is too hard, then blood flow will stop and you will get blanching. And that's basically where the end of your nipple turns white because all the blood flow is gone. Something you can do to help that are hot compresses. Keep it nice and warm. Don't feed in any really cold environments or anything like that. Keep it a very warm environment. And then massaging your breast before baby eats to kind of get some of that blood flow and the milk moving so they A, don't have to suck as hard, and B, the blood flow is already getting to you. Another thing I didn't expect, I didn't know that some women can feel letdown and you get pins and needles. When it does come on strong, you can definitely feel it and there is some pain there, but other than that, it's kind of just a tingling feeling. But it is bittersweet because that way, if you're in a public setting, you can feel that come on and you can get ready with your Stay Dry nursing pads to pop those in there. You will get hot flashes like you've never felt before. The hot flashes come on like crazy. If you have your water with you and you keep an ice water, drinking some ice water when that hot flash comes on relieves so much of the sudden rush that you kind of get. Alrighty, now we're getting into some breastfeeding products. Lancino everything. I use their manual breast pump. The other Lancino thing I use are the Breastmilk bags. They lay really flat. That freezer space goes up quick. I have this little itsy bitsy bag here and bring around all my product stuff in it. I haven't had to apply these balms and products in over a month, but let's see what we got in here. Mother Love nipple cream. This stuff is quite lovely and it is most people's favorites. If you look up, you know, the reviews and stuff like that on TikTok, this usually comes top. It is a little bit more pricey and they all work as chapstick because I don't need these as much anymore. So now I can use them as chapstick. A couple times my husband has forgotten chapstick and he asked me if I had nipple butter in my cream. I think it's cream. Why do I keep calling it nipple butter? I don't know. It might be called nipple butter for the Earth Mama one. But he always asks me if I have nipple cream, nipple butter, so that he can use for his lips. More nipple cream. I have used every single type. And I can say that the Earth Mom is probably my personal favorite. They do help in different ways. The Lancino brand does have lanolin. It's like sheep oil is what lanolin is. But I used it and I honestly think that the Mama Love and the Earth Mama worked better, but I didn't have as much cracking necessarily, but I did have blistering and abrasions. But maybe if you're cracking, this might be better. Different sources say that lanolin should not be consumed, so do your research. For all of them, I know me personally, I don't want nipple butter and nipple cream in my mouth, so I wanted to wipe it off. You don't want the taste of baby wipes in your mouth. I know I don't. Using dry things like burp rags and stuff, you don't really want to be rubbing them with anything dry. Well, make sure you have some water wipes on hand. These are worth the hype. They are worth the hype. The Silverettes, just spend the money, get the good ones. They have healing properties. I don't have any brothers and I don't have a husband that plays sports, but I'm pretty sure guys have to wear like a cup or something when they play sports to kind of protect their area. And even without the healing properties of these, I feel like they kind of did the same thing, because if something brushed up against me, it didn't hurt because she was protecting me. If you leak a little bit, breast milk gets on the inside, and breast milk will definitely help your boobs. I think breast milk is better than any cream or nipple butter whatsoever. I'm my favorite brand of nipple cream, I guess you could say. What do you do when you severely cut your knee and you're worried that it's gonna get infected and it really hurts and it's not saving itself? You use Neosporin, right? Can you do that with your boobs? No, you can't. But what you can use is polysporin. TMI, but my nipple was like literally cut in half. It was so super painful. And so I ended up using polysporin, healed it up in like 48 hours. Obviously the Haka, I have the regular Haka and the Ladybug Haka. Ladybug Haka to me was pretty useless, not gonna lie. The suction just really wasn't there unless you only want to collect like 5 drops. It does feel good to have it in the diaper bag just in case I need it, but other than that, I've only used it a handful of times. And then I wish these things were sponsored. This is a Power Crunch bar. They have 5 grams of sugar and 13 grams of protein. I personally like the s'mores kind, but in the middle of the night, these are a lifesaver. This isn't really like breastfeeding related, but you do need to keep up on your proteins and your macros or whatever. So in the middle of the night when you're hungry and you need to keep up milk production, get one of these, they're amazing. I keep all of these things along with my water bottle, some extra diapers and wipes, lotion, a burp rag, and a book that I read before bed, all in this little box that sits on my bed. I didn't get one of those 3-tier cart things. This is literally right next to my head on the bed, so I just grab it. I don't have to get up whatsoever. That's worked best for me personally. The other product that you are going to need a exuberant amount of is bras. You need like one for every day of the week, I'd say. Try different types, different brands. I kind of do want to splurge and buy some of the mom cozy ones, but they get ruined anyway. And then of course the Stay Dry nursing pads. I have the Lancino brand. The other thing that I would say is a lifesaver is the Cool Gel pads. And then we have these. These are little gel ice pack things. This isn't really for your nipple area, but if the main part of your breast is ever feeling any type of pain, you can use these. You can either use them hot or cold. You're going to want the breastfeeding bottle. This is, I found to be the best. It is the Lancino brand. I've also heard that the Dr. Browns are good. My baby personally does not like the Dr. Browns. And then the Even Flow natural ones. All right, now for the milk supply. I have a personal challenge here on my phone that I'm going to read to you. 1 gallon of water per day. Drink mother's milk tea at night. You can get it on Amazon or at Target. Having 2 things of oatmeal per day. Oatmeal is great for milk production. Pump every feed or use a Haka to empty out. This is for if you're noticing low supply, do a power pump, but if your supply is regulated and you're doing good, you don't need to power pump. Have 3 protein-packed meals per day. To produce milk, you gotta eat. Drink 1 body armor or make a smoothie with coconut water. Coconut water is great for milk production, so whatever you can do to get that in there. I've also heard that putting coconut oil in your smoothies or however you want to take it is great for milk production. My postpartum balance tincture, I'll show that you in a minute. And then the prenatals and fish oil every morning. I use this Earthly Wellness Postpartum Balance Tincture. It works great for hormonal stuff. My sister got it for me. I found that this stuff kind of just keeps my hormones in regulation. I don't know the science behind it, but it works for me. So I really do hope that you were able to find something from this video that is going to help you in your breastfeeding journey. Lactation consultants are amazing. I recommend them. Do what works best for you. but remember, at the end of the day, fed is best. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really enjoy sharing the things that I've learned, because just because I struggled through them doesn't mean you have to. So if you have any extra tips for me on top of that, things that I didn't mention that really helped you, please let me know in the comments. And if you have any other questions that you think I might be able to answer, let me know those as well. And I'm super excited to continue this breastfeeding journey and see how long it goes. Linden, if you're watching in the future, know that you are so, so loved. Mwah.